Welcome to the Bold Money Revolution podcast. This is your source for straight talking, no fluff, business and high performance conversations that add real depth and value to the way bold leaders live, work, and thrive. I'm your host, Tara Newman. I'm here to show you how to optimize your performance as a leader so that you can grow a business that is profit-rich, efficient, and allows you to generate real, tangible wealth for yourself and others. We are here to help you lead with your values, to perform without overwhelm and burnout, and to do your most important work in the world. Hey, bold leaders. Welcome to the Bold Money Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Tara Newman, and today I want you to tune in. I want you to listen. I want you to slow down and pay attention to what I have to say, because I'm noticing that a lot of business owners that I've been talking to need me to take them by the shoulders very firmly and remind them of who they are. I want to remind you of who you are, because your confidence matters greatly to your ability to make sales and build wealth in your business. So here we go. Allow me to present you with some truths to remind you of who you are so that we can take your confidence up a couple levels. So let's do a check-in. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most, how confident do you feel right now? Give it a number. I'll give you a second. And maybe you're in a moment where you're feeling really confident. So think about, on average, where do you fall? What's the number, right? Because the more confident you are, the more money you will make. I always tell my clients the best time to go make a sale is right after you have already made a sale. Go take advantage of feeling awesome, of feeling accomplished, of feeling abundant, and go make that sale. So here are the things that I want to remind you of based on conversations I've had with small business owners over the last few months. You are a successful human. You are. You've gotten here. You've gotten this far. You are successful. And by whose metric do you need to be successful? Right? What is that metric of success for you? Even if you're not quite where you want to be yet, or there's more potential that you want to explore, that doesn't negate that you've come this far. You took a risk for a reason. Starting a business, earning income independent of an employer, being an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, a self-employed individual. You took a risk for a reason. There was likely stress in your traditional job. I talk to a lot of people who felt like they were being put upon and drained, and their genius and their strengths were just being extracted from them with little sense of acknowledgement that, they were maybe the highest performer, but all that got them was more work and being dumped on by their mediocre manager. Maybe you were like me and you had chronic illness and you wanted to create a schedule that allowed you to navigate your health and be there for your family and to have a business. Or maybe the job that you had was causing you so much stress, it was causing illness. So for whatever your reason was, there was likely a pain point, something that you were trying to escape. And so you took a risk for a reason. Don't forget what that reason is, especially if you're considering going back to getting a job. And when you first started out, you wanted to replace your income from a traditional 9-to-5. And that likely was about $100,000 a year, maybe even more. And so do not forget, with all the hype and the glitz and the glitter that you might see online or in news stories or on the internet or wherever, that your original intent was to replace that income. Focus on that. What's the revenue number that you need to hit to help you replace your income from that traditional 9-to-5? You had interests and hobbies before you started to overconsume content in the matrix, before you got sucked in. And I'm sure that somebody here is saying to me, but I'm not sucked in. Oh no, you're sucked in. Even the most discerning people that I know, even myself, even people who have all the notifications off their phone or whatever, I still hear that they are somehow envy consuming or hate consuming content, and it's taking up a lot of their time and attention. And so remember, before you engaged in the matrix, you had interests and hobbies that were not in the matrix. You're a responsible and trustworthy adult who is capable of standing on your 2 feet because you do it every day. You do it every day. You had a sense of belonging and community before you found Facebook groups. Okay? You have community, you have belonging, whether it's with your family or a group of friends or coworkers or colleagues or religious community or a gym community that is in the real world and outside of a Facebook group. Now, I understand I have met some tremendous, amazing friends who have absolutely become a part of my real life community because we've taken these relationships off of Facebook and off of Instagram and have met up in person and check in with each other, not because we've gotten a notification, but because we really care, right? So that's not really what I'm talking about. I just see a lot of people joining communities and paying for groups and programs or memberships because they're looking for a sense of belonging. And I want to remind you that that existed before this space. You have gotten to where you are today through a series of moments where you faced adversity and figured it out. You did because you're here, you're breathing air, you got 2 feet on the ground. You might not be your most grounded self right now. You might be facing adversity right this second, but you have gotten through previous adversities. You know how to do this. You have developed strategies and tools over the past few decades because, listen, people get on calls with me and they're like, we just want to work with you because you're not 20, okay? They want to work with me because I'm 40 and I'm actually 46. And so the majority of the people who follow me, I find, are between the ages of 35 and 65 even, right? So you have had decades of self-help section at Barnes & Nobles. You've had decades of perhaps therapy. You've had decades of maybe journaling and introspection and sense-making with friends and community and family. And you have tools. You have tools and strategies. And I'll tell you in absolute transparency, 2022 was a hard year for me. And despite the decades and decades of tools that I have built for myself through reading, through therapy, through journaling, through being in community, through sense making, through coaching, through coach training, through my schooling, through my career, all of these tools, I had a hard time. I had a hard time despite having all these tools. That's not what I'm saying. It's okay to be having a hard time. I just want you to remember that you're a person who has resources and tools and strategies, because sometimes we open up that app, whether it be Instagram or TikTok, and we're convinced, we're told that we're broken. We're told that we don't have the tools. We're told that we're the lowest forms of ourselves. And the thing that they're selling is the only thing that's going to help us. And that's not true. We are here, we are breathing, we are whole, we are human, and we are putting one foot in front of the other to the best that we can. You've had money, you've made money mistakes, and you made more money. I know this for a fact. I really do. You have made money either through a job, a career, or on your own. You have made money mistakes. Maybe you had blown all your money. I went bankrupt. Maybe you blew it all and you had nothing. But then you made more. It's a renewable resource. You can do this. You know that this is possible for you. So I don't want you to get stuck or pigeonholed in that place where you made a money mistake and you're never going to figure it out again. You will. You have. You are a person who has set goals, taken baby steps, fallen down, gotten back up, reassessed, recalibrated, accomplished big things, pushed too hard, burned out, and then rested and got the heck back up again. Now, you might be somewhere in this cycle. You might be feeling disappointed that the goal you've set hasn't been achieved or accomplished. You might be in the messy middle and the frustration of the baby steps feeling too babyish. You might be laying flat on your face because you got back, you fell down. You might be waiting to get back up again. You might be in a time of transition where you're reassessing and recalibrating. Maybe you're in a place where you've pushed too hard, you've burned out, and now you're feeling like you might not be able to rest and get your mojo back. But I want to remind you that you have likely done this before. I have done this so many times. I have pushed too hard, burned out, rested, went to the doctor, made sure it wasn't my adrenals, made sure it wasn't my blood work, rested, got back up again. All right? That's it. This is how we succeed in being self-employed. This is how we succeed in business. We just keep swimming, not because we're pushing, but because we know when to rest and not quit. We know when to step back and assess. Now, I'm not going to infantilize you. You are a grown-ass human. And the marketing messages that you consume ad nauseum that prey on your insecurities, that part of your brain that says, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe this was all a fluke. Those marketing messages you're consuming ad nauseum on various social platforms are perhaps doing you a tremendous disservice. So I want to give you some action to take today in case at any point this resonated with you. Don't lie to me either. I know it resonated. It resonated with me. Maybe I needed to hear this message today. Right? So let me give you some action. It's time to tune out the noise. And I want you to go beyond just turning off notifications. I want you to go beyond attempting to fail so many times at using that screen time. Anybody else? That screen time thing on your iPhone, that never works for me, right? But I really want to encourage you to look at how many podcasts are you consuming? How many social platforms are you on? How many people are you following? Are they vapid, inane, cookie cutter messages that talk to you in a cutesy voice while preying on your vulnerabilities? Are you hate following? Are you FOMO consuming? Are you disassociating? Meaning you're following this person because you're living this person's reality instead of working on creating your own reality. Because time is money. As a matter of fact, time is more valuable than money. When you get to the point where you realize that your time is more valuable than money, everything you know about money changes. So time is money. And in my world, it is more valuable than money. So are you getting a return on your time investment? Are you getting a return on your energy investment? Are you getting a return on your attention investment for what you're following and what you're looking at? Now, if you go to my Instagram at the Tara Newman, you'll see, I think I follow maybe 30 accounts. That's it. There was a point where I had hundreds, and there was a point where I said, I am putting my blinders on and I am just tuning into a handful of people. I actually do have a second account that is private that I follow a few more for my personal interests and maybe some other business interests, but very few. And when I did that and stopped focusing on the noise and focused on what I wanted instead, so much changed for me. If this podcast episode resonated with you, I do want to hear from you. So go leave me either a voice message or a text message over on Instagram at the Tara Newman. If you've found this podcast valuable, help us develop more bold leaders in the world by sharing this episode with your friends, colleagues, and other bold leaders. Also, if you haven't done so already, please leave a review. I consider reviews like podcast currency, and it's the one thing you can do to help us out here at the Bold Leadership Revolution HQ. We would be so grateful for it. Special thanks goes to Stacey Harris from Uncommonly More, who is the producer and editor of this podcast. Go check them out for all your digital marketing and content creation needs. Be sure to tune into the next episode to help you embrace your ambition and leave the grind behind.